Hey there, my fellow rejects. Rabbit here, and I'm here to talk about 8 gameplay tips to help you become a better teammate in Warhammer 40k Darktide. Alright, so the first one is gonna be don't hog all the ammo. So you don't want to take every single little bit of ammo like a loot goblin. I know it's very tempting to do, but try not to. Especially if you're going to be playing in a match where you have other people on your team that's like primarily ranged combat, say like the veteran or a hive scum character. So to kind of mitigate this and prevent yourself from taking everything, just take a look at their character icons, and you'll see like a little like ammo icon. Now it starts off as white, meaning you got maximum amount of ammo. Then slowly over time, it goes to light yellow, dark yellow, which is now about 50% consumed, to light red, to dark red, which is now completely out of ammo. Now, if you keep taking all the ammo, these kind of builds that rely on, doing a lot of shooting action, well, now their builds are going to be just kind of nullified and they're not going to be as combat effective. So you need to be a good teammate and make sure you share the ammo. Because when one person can't do their thing, well, now the team's overall power and survivability becomes a lot less. Might not be too much of an issue on lower difficulty levels, but when you get higher and higher in difficulty levels, it's vital that everyone stays in top condition. All right, so moving into tip number 2, rescuing other rejects from trapper nests or nets. All right. So trapper nets, right? Uh, it's better to just try to pick them up and free them right away. If you're not sure that the trapper is going to net you next, you can't just do a push block, and that should buy you enough time to free them. Now, you will take some hits here and there, but it's better to um, receive a little bit of damage than having them get knocked down and lose a wound. And then if you're not quick enough, they get incapacitated and they have to respawn somewhere further up in the map. If you let that happen, your team's firepower and combat effectiveness is going to take a very big hit. And sometimes in higher difficulty levels, the game will capitalize on that and they will just send in as much crap down your throat as possible. So just make sure you get in there, be brave, and rescue people that have been trapped. Okay. All right. Moving into tip number 3, which is related to number 2. When someone is knocked down, make sure you get in there and you revive them as quick as possible. And if you are concerned about taking hits, as long as you can get them up and everyone's still, able to move around, it's totally worth it. Now you can try to time this where you recover your toughness, because remember that's kind of like your shield, right? Like in Halo, that's your energy shield. You can recover that for a second or two, get some melee kills, get it recovered, and then you can go in. Or you can go in like a grenade, You can block push. These little things will create enough of an opening for you to get in there and revive the downed player. To help speed the process up, you can always put, which you should actually put these all on your three curios in the game, is plus 12% revive speed. It's gonna allow you to pick people up faster. And if your class has the talent node for it, invest in picking it up. Some classes, like say the veteran, has a talent node where you can get an extra 25% revive speed. So those are some ways to speed up that process and get people back up on their feet quicker. Remember, it's better to have everyone up on their feet than having one person be knocked out and they have to respawn later. It's not going to be fun for them, and it's not going to be fun for you because now the team is going to have to struggle to fight off the ever increasing waves of enemies that's going to be thrown at you. All right. Gameplay tip number 4: learn how to block and dodge. So you really got to learn how to evade attacks, block attacks, and push enemies away. This way, this will allow you to survive longer in combat, but it's also going to become very important down the line when you go to higher difficulty levels, or go up to higher difficulty levels, I mean. Because the amount of enemies they throw at you is going to be a lot, and sometimes um, they're going to have mixed units of ranged and melee together. So you need to do, bob and weave tactics. You gotta, slip and slide and make sure that they cannot hit you. All right, so uh, if you don't know how to do it, I don't know how you do on a controller, so you need to check your settings. But on a PC, if you're playing on a PC, you know, you run with your shift, press control to initiate a slide. That's going to allow you to evade some hits. You can also double press in one direction, except going forward, of course, and that'll allow you to dodge. And then in order to actually block an attack, you hold down the right mouse button. And to push an attacker away, this will be like a 360-degree around you. You hold down the right mouse button and you click the left mouse button, that'll initiate a shove. You'll have a stamina bar, which will be at the top, or should be directly below your crosshairs, and that'll let you know how much stamina you have left to push. And if you are very crafty, you can even um, use the environment to break up hordes of enemies. Like sometimes you'll be able to jump off a ledge, climb up a ledge, have them run into a cement pillar. Those kind of things will help break them up and allow you to kind of break these units down into more manageable size. All right, tip number 5. So always help other players by attacking the same target. In this game, it's you're gonna find out that it requires the team to work together. And if you do some solo stuff that doesn't really reward you for that, it actually makes the game harder. Because the game will recognize when someone's trying to, run off on their own, or if you are, running too far ahead of the pack, they're going to spawn in more stuff to try to stop you. All Alright, so attack the same target, makes it easier to take a big target down together faster than individually. And sometimes you also need to be aware of which targets to prioritize first. You need to use your situational awareness to, um, scan your immediate surroundings and look for targets or enemies that can present an immediate threat to you. Right, those are going to be like disablers, such as the Poxhound, the Trapper, and the Mutie, the guy that charges at you and grabs you and like Hulk smashes you like Loki. So those are the things you need to watch out for because those are the things that can really mess you up really bad. And usually you want to go after those things first, even if you are in a melee situation. You can always slip and slide out of a melee and go into one of those disabler units and eradicate them. Right? Moving into gameplay tip number 6. When to deploy a Medicae kit, a Medicae stim, and a ammo kit. Alright, so good times to do this are when you are entering a new part of the map where you have to do like a puzzle or solve some kind of thing like that. And like everyone's going to be kind of like in the same operating area. In those situations, you try to find somewhere like a main zone that everyone will be crossing, left, right, backwards, forward, right, and just drop the Medicaid kit on the ground, ping it, and then if you really need to, you can type in the chat or say something in the voice comms saying that you deployed the Medicaid kit. Just remember that you can't use it to recover purple wounds. You're going to actually need a Medicaid station or a Medicaid stim to recover those. All right, so more on the Medicaid stims. It's fine to grab one and just kind of like hold on to it if you're at max health. But if you see another team member that is pretty hurt and they're on their like last wound, go ahead and stim them. You don't want people to go down and get knocked out and have to respawn somewhere else. You want to prevent that from happening and keep your team in top fighting condition, or at least as best as possible, right? So it's even more important, actually, if you see a Hive Scum is in your team, because they can't pick up stims because they got their own. And Hive Scum characters are typically very, very squishy, even though they are like super agile, mobile, and can dodge very well. There's only so much that one person can do all that before they take a hit. And yeah, just go ahead and stim them because they're gonna need it. They can offer the team a lot of firepower in terms of like um, massive pools of poison or a rocket launcher that can take care of a large group of heretics. So, if you keep your team alive, they'll keep you alive. It's corny to say and think about it, but that's just the truth of these kind of games. Gotta work with each other to keep everyone up and going. All right. Tip number 7. Pox bursters. Oh my god. So, pox bursters are pretty bad, and you can effectively deal with them by block pushing them. So, to do that, remember, you hold up your block button, which is right mouse button, and then you left click to push them away. And then you don't want to just sit still. You want to dodge backwards, preferably while you still have your guard up, your block up. That way, if the Poxburster doesn't self-detonate after that initial push, you'll be able to do a second push, and that typically should be more than enough to have them eradicate themselves. The thing you don't want to do is if you see a Poxburster coming in and no one's really approaching it, or you might see someone that's like getting ready to approach it and then do the push block. Do not kill it with a ranged weapon. That will actually detonate it on the spot. And for a lot of classes, they should be able to tank the hit, but they're going to be at severely low health at that point. It kind of depends on how close they were to blast radius too. But when in doubt, if you don't see anybody, getting ready to push block it, um, just ping it, tag it, and then switch to your melee weapon and get ready to push it yourself if you're close enough. So the worst thing you can do is if someone doesn't see it and they're like right next to a ledge or like some part of the map that has like fall damage, or there's like a gap that people can fall into and die. That blast, the power of that blast that the Poxburster will produce is pretty significant, and it can knock people off the map and cause them to die. So be careful. Don't don't kill it with range unless you really have no choice. Alright. It's fine to kill it at long range, but if it's in close quarters, forget it. Switch to your melee. Alright, the same thing can be kind of said of like explosive barrels and fire barrels, landmines, things like that. So some of these things you start to see as you play the game a lot more, and you don't want to hit them, especially if it's next to another player, and especially if they're next to a ledge, kind of like what I talked about for the Poxburster. It produces enough force where it can knock people off maps, and they're going to be pissed at you if that happens. So uh, I know sometimes it happens on accident, but don't go out of your way to deliberately detonate that. It's a very toxic thing to do, and word spreads. Sometimes people will recognize your player name and they'll say, "Hey, what are you doing? It's really toxic. I'm not going to play with you again," kind of thing, right? So be careful. Don't hit those barrels and don't hit the Poxbursters with your ranged weapon. Next thing I'm going to talk about is pacing, tip number 8. So in this game, you don't want to go too fast and you don't want to go too slow. Now, it's fine to go slow and explore the maps when you're on lower difficulty levels below Heresy, but as soon as you get to Heresy and above to like Damnation, Auric, and Havoc, do not go off and explore. The game recognizes when people are too far from each other. They'll spawn in a disabler to try to eradicate you. And, people do it and then they pay the price. So stick with the team. Make sure that everyone's moving at the same pace, in the same direction, not wandering off. This can also be said of people who are going too fast and trying to speed run the game. Speedrunning the game doesn't solve anything. It doesn't actually help the team. If you're interested in speedrunning, then go solo and play with bots. But do not do that when you're in an actual team of other people. Because, like I was saying earlier, the game will recognize that you're too far, and it'll recognize that you're actually doing way too good. And when it recognizes this, the game asks for, oh, they're doing really good. I gotta slow them down. I gotta create a challenge. I'll spawn in a captain, or I'll spawn in a monstrosity. I'll spawn in more disablers. Hell, I'll even spawn in more hordes. And sometimes they'll do it all together at the same time. So don't rush, don't lag. Everyone needs to be on the same page and moving together as one cohesive unit. All right, well, that's it for this one. If there's any other gameplay left that's rolling on the screen right now, feel free to watch the rest of it. And I appreciate everyone's time. All right, I gotta go. Peace out, my fellow rejects. Bye bye.